Welcome back to the Takeout. As we noted at the top of the show, U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, are in Israel today to help shore up the Gaza peace deal. It is, fair to say, in a kind of fragile state after Israel launched a heavy wave of retaliatory attacks in Gaza against Hamas. Israeli officials say Hamas fired on its soldiers and killed 2 of them. Aaron David Miller joins me now, senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, deeply experienced in this region, within the State Department and negotiating for years and years. So, Aaron David Miller, I want to play for you sound from last night's 60 Minutes, in which Leslie Stahl sat down with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and asked about their trip to Gaza. Let's please play that.
So, you decide to go to Gaza. And what did you see?
It looked almost like a nuclear bomb had been set off in that area. And then you see these people moving back, and I asked the IDF, where are they going? Like, I'm looking around, these are all ruins. And they said, well, they're going back to the areas where their destroyed home was, onto their plot, and they're going to pitch a tent. And it's very sad, because you think to yourself, they really have nowhere else to go.
Would you say now, having been there, that it was genocide?
No. No.
Absolutely not. No. No, there was a war being fought.
Evaluate that for me.
You know, look, I don't get into this discussion because, frankly, it really doesn't change one iota of the situation on the ground. All it does is drive the parties, frankly, to their respective corners. And since the international community has failed to impose a single cost or consequence that normal humans, measure like you and I, would agree constitutes significant pressure on either of the parties, Israel and Hamas, until very recently, I might add, enter President Trump. I think the question is how to change the realities on the ground. That's where you need to be tough and outspoken. And we'll see if that happens. You have a 20-point plan that's long on principles and short on deeds. You had a signing ceremony in Sharm el-Sheikh. I was at least 3 of them there over the course of the last, when I was working on this issue. And on Monday morning, negotiators look at each other and say, hey, you know, we got a lot of work to do. What are we going to do now? Witkoff, Kushner, and later this week, maybe even tomorrow, Vice President of the United States, going to go. But the mountains that need to be climbed here, one in particular, how are you going to create an international stabilization force that'll fill in behind the areas from which the Israelis redeploy and stop Hamas from reasserting its control? And then how do you decommission and take Hamas's weapons away from them? The Israelis waged a campaign for 2 years, Major.
Yeah.
And couldn't. So again, a lot of lifts. I just, one last point. President Trump has done something. I worked for 4 or 5 presidents. None of them, without exception, talked to an Israeli prime minister in the way that Donald Trump had talked to Benjamin Netanyahu. None of them brought the kind of pressure on an Israeli prime minister to do something that politically I think he was not interested in doing, and doing something that he probably believed was detrimental to his own political agenda and perhaps even to the interests of Israel as he defines them. That was rather extraordinary. If you do not accept this plan, if Barak Ravid's reporting is accurate on Axios, we will walk away from you.
Right. That's never happened before.
Not since Dwight Eisenhower threatened David Ben-Gurion with political and economic sanctions, 1956, 57, if Ben-Gurion didn't withdraw Israeli forces from Sinai. Has any American president, Republican or Democrat, been that tough? Can he sustain it? Good question.
Indeed. So when the president said today that if Hamas doesn't uphold the ceasefire, we will eradicate them, did that cause you alarm?
No, I mean, is it a serious statement? I mean, let's look at the options. We will eradicate them, and they need to be eradicated. I mean, this organization, by statute and American law, classified as a terror organization, exposed 2 million Palestinian civilians in Gaza, rolled the cosmic roll of the dice expose 2 million Palestinians to the fury and wrath of what the Israelis were going to do in the wake of the terror surge on October 7th. But what's Trump going to do? Deploy U.S. special forces to Gaza? Occupy Gaza? The Israelis, frankly, they tried. No, the question really becomes, can Trump lean on key Arab actors? Can he use incentives and disincentives, honey and vinegar, with both the Israelis and Hamas? I mean, they are the preeminent decision maker right now in Gaza, in an effort to try to ease them into a situation where they aren't armed, but still play a role. It may be a mission impossible.
The very hardest part of it yet to come. Aaron David Miller, always a pleasure, sir. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.